McFry is the cockadoodle rooster. I am the rooster. So I got some movie ideas, and rather than keeping them to myself, I figured I'd share them. You know, I'm not going to make big blockbuster movies and whatever. I'm not a filmmaker per se. So, you know, I just throw them out there. It's like, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine. He's into software programming and stuff like that, and I had this idea for a program. So I just, you know, I shared it with him, you know. It's like, it's okay, you know, if he wants to do something with it, like, what? He's a software programmer, I'm just some guy. Okay, so the first idea is for like a science fiction movie, and kind of like on the theme of robots getting artificial intelligence and like starting to, you know, fight against us and stuff like that. Sort of like the Terminator or Matrix, kind of that kind of same idea, only this with a twist, as it were. You know, the robots, they seem to become aware, you know, they seem to be hell-bent on killing us with this message that it's either them or us, you know, we can't coexist, you know, it's going to be a war and they're going to win, you know, that's going to be their message. And then it turns out that behind the scenes, you find out that there's this young, very crafty hacker, extremely sophisticated type person, you know, who is kind of aiding these robots who are not really artificially intelligent, they just appear that way, and he's manipulating them behind the scenes, and he's created them as this self-replicating, you know, robot force, and, you know, he's kind of controlling it. And instead of doing the obvious thing of, oh, you know, I'll come out, I'll be the hero, you know, come out with a virus that just knocks him out, he comes in and, you know, he battles him back a little bit, you know. He just gets like, you know, a little bit of virus bug against the robots, and they win a battle somewhere, you know, or they, you know, they defeat him a little bit, they kill some of them off, but they don't get them all. And, you know, he slowly builds himself up as this, you know, kind of savior that's going to come out with the master plan. So he's just kind of playing everybody as this person that's on both sides, that's simultaneously leading this robot army that's killing humanity, but at the same time representing the person who's going to save everybody with, like, you know, some kind of knockout virus that he's created, and be remembered in history forever and ever as, you know, the greatest savior of humanity. You know, it's like he's thinking about, oh, you know, the guy who defeated Saddam Hussein, oh, yeah, okay, that was great, good job. But are they going to be anywhere nearly as revered as the guy that defeats Hitler? It's like, no. And that's what he's going for. He's going for the ultimate, you know, fame and glory. Okay, so the next idea, it would be a film called Pirate President. It wouldn't be a comedy per se, it would just be kind of dark, and it would be kind of about Bush's whole presidency. And you find out that behind the scenes, this guy's just going off on the weekends and hanging out with his pirate buddies. They're going out on, you know, ships on the ocean where there's just gambling and you know, all the kind of like pirate stuff you would do. You know, they're just hanging out and having a good time, and they're connected to all these different crime rings and drug rings and prostitution rings and everything. He's just like the height of the underworld of the world, you know, in other words. And then you find out that, you know, it's not some of the stuff was conspiracies, it was all conspiracies. How he got elected, his father's connections, Cheney and Nixon, and it was just all conspiracies. 9/11, Katrina, every single thing, the financial crisis, all of it, you find out is just conspiracy after conspiracy. They were just doing this, sitting back on their pirate ship, laughing their ass off at the you know, the terror, ironically, that they have rained down upon humanity. So that would be Pirate President. And finally, oh, all this radiation's making me thirsty. You know, I can't claim this is my original idea, but I don't know, I haven't heard anybody else talk about it. But how about live-action Futurama movie. Boom. And guess who could play Fry? This guy, huh? It's perfect. micfri, I'll play Fry. All this radiation's making me thirsty. Leela, come on. Come on, Bender, let's go get a drink at the bar. You know, I could be Fry. Like, I really could. Like, I'm kind of convinced in my mind. Call me psycho or something like that. I think that character was actually based on me somehow. Like, you know, through some weird thing, micfri, and then there's a cartoon, Fry, and it came out about the same time that I came up with the screen name, and it's just all too coincidental. Anyways, I would like to see that movie made either way, regardless if I was in it. I mean, I'm sure they could get somebody way better than me that could just nail that role, you know, some kind of, you know, Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. I'm sure he could do a bang-up job. So those are my movie ideas. Hope you enjoyed them. Also, one last thing, I recorded a podcast yesterday. I don't know if anybody's subscribed to Video Game News Radio, but if you are, I was on an episode of Extended, which should be coming out sometime, and we were talking about the PS3. You know, it's not as fiery as my PS3 video that I did when I was saying fuck Sony and all that stuff. We just had like a kind of a serious conversation about the PS3 and all that stuff. So you should check that out. If you're not subscribed to that podcast, you should be, because it's really good. VideoGameNews.com, or search for it on iTunes. Cock-a-doodle.